Morning, boys. How are you?
Yeah.
Oh, mate, just it's all happening this morning. Where are you guys? What is it? It's Monday Arvo, right?
It's 5 o'clock, man.
Yeah, it's 5 o'clock on Monday.
Nice.
What are you at? You're on it. You're in Wednesday already.
Shoot.
Yeah.
I think it's 1997 Tuesday. I don't even know anymore, bros. I don't know.
That dancing shirt, for sure it is.
Yeah, it is actually. Yeah, the zig.
Love that.
The zig makes me go, whoa.
I love that.
Love it. But, well, it's good to talk to you guys. How you feeling? You doing all right?
Thanks for having us on. Yeah, doing great, man. How are you?
Yeah, really good. So, of course, first of all, happy birthday for the other day.
Yeah, thank you,
mate. How's it being 40?
Yeah, feels good. Feels great. Yeah, it's not unlike 39.
And what about you, Jesse? Jesse, are you 40 yet?
I'm 30 yet.
Jesse's 10 years younger than us.
Wow. To be young.
Yeah. Yeah. He was when we were playing our first shows, he was playing with his Cheerios.
Playing Cheerios out of a bag.
Playing Cheerios out of a bag.
Nice. Well, it's been a
40 is great, man. I'm leaning into it hard. I feel good. I feel better than I have ever felt.
That's good, man. That's good because you know, I'm 40.
Yeah, I feel like I've been learning a lot about myself over the last 2 or 3 years, and I'm leaning into my age with grace. And can I say that? Can I say that I have grace?
You can. No, you can, man. No, you definitely can.
Yeah, I did. I said it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm feeling good.
Well, it has been a long time coming, but of course, heislegend will be finally coming back to Australia this May with a run of shows with our boys Hammers. And man, so many people are excited. It's going to be incredible. We got the battle jackets ready, the beers ready, and all the Vegemite you can get stuck in your beard, my friend.
That's right. I need that. I love that Vegemite, man.
Yeah, man.
I really do. I dig it. I mean, I think I figured out early on the ratio is the most important thing. You know, you give an American something that's so like viscous and dark, and I think we just think that we're supposed to overindulge and like lather it on like a brick and mortar, you know. But you need a slight little small thin layer of Vegemite over your butter. And then, that's it. That's the way. Nobody knows. It's, be very careful, very delicate with that. But
too much can be too
delicious.
Much. Yeah.
That's right. Way too much.
You know what's going to happen now? You've said it. And everyone's going to be like bringing you jars of Vegemite now. You're going to have.
That's fine.
Nothing but.
I just to go ahead and ship it to my house so I don't have to put it in my bag. Because that'd be annoying.
Yeah.
But
big jars. Imagine dragging that around. Not merch, a big jar to big.
Just gonna fill my pocket with packets at every little mega store.
That's right. But of course, the Hammers dudes are excited. I spoke to those guys about hitting the road. They love you too. So, what are you looking forward to getting up to no good with those boys?
We were chatting with them last week. They seem like kindred spirits. They ride bikes and like to party, and so we're gonna have a good time. I think we were talking about. I don't know. They seem a little more athletic than us.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if they do like cardio on tour at all or anything. We've done some tours with some bands that have like their hour of cardio midday, and we're just like sitting around cracking a beer like, all right. But I'm stoked, man. I think we're all really excited to we got our tickets and our bags packed and ready to go. We're good, counting down on less than 2 months away now.
I'm so keen. I'm going to be hitting up 2 shows. I'd do the whole
Oh,
week
cool.
if I could. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, why not? Just cram into the overhead compartment.
Man, that's an idea. I mean, I'm starting to lose the weight. You could just jam me in your suitcase next to the Vegemite, and then I can just,
Yeah.
you know.
You can be our Vegemite wrangler.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Takes it through customs, so I don't have to answer for it.
But of course, everyone's got their favorite He's Legend songs. You know, I'm sure you get people yell it out at shows, and you're like, shut up, we're going to play it. You know, but of course,
yeah,
the albums go along. You know, you've got such a massive catalog. Have you found that, you know, people's requests have changed?
That's a good question. I don't think they really have. I mean, one cool thing that I've noticed about, you know, since the pandemic, like I think people have been asking for our newer stuff more often, like are excited to hear things off White Bat and Endless Hallway. So I've noticed that since, you know, post-pandemic shows, people are like really amped to hear new things. And that's always like amazing because you grow up and people were just like, play the hits, you know.
Yeah.
And now it seems to have kind of changed to where people are actually like stoked to hear the new shit. So I think that's cool. I mean, of course, people always are like surprised when you throw out some older B-sides and stuff, and they're stoked. But we're lucky to have we have a pretty cult fan base, and they've just been loyal to us for so long, and so I think they're pretty stoked just to see whatever we throw out, you know, because we always try to keep it fun.
Man.
Yeah, and this set list for Australia, we're trying to like cover a lot of different albums, not just like the new one, which obviously we want to play as much of that as we can, but we're playing stuff off every record. So
like a good 3-hour show, 4-hour show.
Yeah, we do 2:15, and then we take a break, 5-minute break, come back on, 45 minutes of just pure lounge lizards.
Don't get me started, because I would pay for that shit. I would love to see that. So you know, that would be incredible. But I would like to hear, like, I don't know, like Serpent Sickness is one of my favorites, and Decisions.
Cool.
Decisions. But you know, if they make it in there, cool. If not, that's cool too. But just throwing it out.
Yeah, we're working on things, trying to figure out what's gonna hit best. But yeah, we're excited. We're excited to show y'all what we got.
Man, I can't wait. And of course, Endless Hallway came out last year. A few months ago. It's been a little while, but you know, it's heavy as fuck. Like, this is like the most brutal you guys have gotten. Like, where did the direction come from for this one? Because like that's the thing that surprised me, is just those opening riffs are like almost like Meshuggah. It's like so brutal.
It's funny because Meshuggah is one of the first bands that Adam ever introduced me to, you know, when we were like 17. So those influences have been there for so long. It's funny that people are just now like hearing those, you know, that those things have made it through onto this album so heavily, because it's kind of who we were always, you know, from the beginning. And I mean, if you listen to like some of the stuff that's not been put out, like early high school demos and bands, there's obviously way like techier influence things that you can hear, and but also a lot of pop that you can hear. So that's kind of just pushing those left and right has been, you know, what Adam and I have always tried to do with like the finished product. You know, it's like, how can we complement each other in like a contrasting way? But yeah, I think that's all of that probably has a lot to do with the pandemic and just how pent up everybody was, and you know, the fact that White Bat kind of got the wind taken out of its sails real early on, and just, you know, unluckily through the pandemic, and then, you know, in that having so much reflection time knowing that we were going to put out a record and had to have things to say. You know, I mean, what do you talk about when you can't talk about what everyone's talking about?
And no album starts with like, this is going to be the album, and then we're going to like, there's no like, this is what we're trying to do. The only thing I'll say about this album of things we were trying, like, we didn't say, let's write the heaviest album of our career. It wasn't that, but it was, we were all still very proud of the last record. And it was like, you know, the question was like, how are we just got done doing that. Yeah. Like, how are we going to top this? It has to be ridiculous. And that does, I'll say the first 2 tracks off this record are just like so balls to the walls. And that was by design of like, this has, because there's Whiteback came out, we dropped that single first, and it was like really like the biggest, baddest thing He Is Legend had done in a long time, and it made a, you know, an impact. And it's like, well, we can't release something off this new one and be like, it's not as impactful as the last album. So Adam was really pushing. It wasn't like, let's write a metal album, let's write this, but it's like, it has to come out like, this has to make people go, what is happening? Yeah. Because we made a big splash on the last one, and it can't be anything less than that. So it wasn't a premeditated murder, but it was like, we got to kill somebody.
I think you did. It was definitely, I remember when the first track dropped, and the first single, and Dan, my friend Dan, he's like, this is like the hold your beer moment, where it's like, man, there we're going, we're pushing it, and it's like, you did it, like, you pushed this absolute limit, and I can't wait to hear what you guys do next. Like, holy shit, like, heavier? Was it like black metal, or are you gonna ease it back, or?
It's always been cool because, you know, you guys get the album first. So we've always like just been sitting around at midnight, like waiting, like, what is Australia going to say? You know, like, they're the first people to hear it.
Yeah, that's always the first like little ease of anxiety. I'm like, all right, get ready for everyone to say, hey,
yeah, we're just waiting. Yeah,
and then like a couple Aussie guys are just like, done, sick.
Yeah, okay, we're good. Yeah, yeah. It's like the Aussies tell us that we can sleep now.
Oh, that's it. That's a good thing. I think I would have been one of those.
I mean, I literally was looking for it, especially on this album, because I felt insecure just, you know, because I had been sick for a while. And didn't feel like the guy that I was, you know. I didn't feel like to be the face of a rock and roll outfit and, like, you know, tell stories behind this music is like, I didn't feel like that guy. So up until the first feedback I heard from fans was like, I had no idea what people were going to think, or if they're, you ruined my favorite band, you know, like, I was anticipating anything. So just to get some metal horns was awesome, you know, and it hasn't stopped, and people are still loving it, and we're so grateful for that.
So I know that you guys went through a fair bit of trouble personally, like with your health and things like that, and lead up for it, man, you know. And you know, it's funny that your music has gotten me through some really fucking tough times. You know, you guys have been like that friend, that ride along in some really tough times, and I'm sure that the fan feedback and did that help you guys through, you know,
100
both ways?
It's the only reason it happens.
Yeah, that's why we're here, you know. Like, we are indebted to our fans. Not only, you know, we've been thick as thieves for a long time, but, you know, when we crowdfunded a record and really like learned what we were doing and why we were doing this, and that back then, that was kind of a pivot point for us to know that it proved a lot of things that we had already known, and it solidified things that weren't evident to us. I think that we started taking ourselves more seriously, and, you know, rehearsal became like something that we took pride in, and being the band changed back then. And there was a lot of, you know, just internal things that happened, and, you know, then pushing forward and continuing to push forward and know that we can't stop. You know, we lost a drummer, and we were like when we had the opportunity to get Jesse, and Jesse came in and like brought this new life to the band. So we've been growing more than we've been growing more since the album Few than we ever did before it, in the span of from I Am Hollywood to It Hates You. There was, you know, we were who we were, we knew who we were, and we didn't really strive for anything else. We were just these like rocker kids on the road who all, you know, we were just, you know, take any show, maybe show up, you know. So when as you get older and you start to take yourself more seriously, and you're like trying to be this person that before you were like, you were like, oh, I've been chosen to be this person, or this is the life that just found me. Because I think every, you know, true rocker on the road is like, you know, I was born to do this. I've never not done this. And this is who I want to be, regardless of whether or not you take it seriously or not. Like if you're playing for PBR or if you're playing to pay your rent. So it's, I think, yeah, man, like just growing and like, and being a different band every album cycle, learning new things and, you know, bettering yourself every album cycle is like, that pushes us closer to our fans and like gives them something to look forward to, because we are a band that changes, you know, and to have a fan base that embraces the fact that we change and we try to change and do things differently with our music and change the way that we present our music and like, you know, aesthetically, like, I don't know. I think we've just been blessed to have fans that have stuck with us since the beginning and have grown with us, so that those changes haven't been like astronomical to them, you know, that it hasn't like shook anyone. It hasn't, you know, we've never lost fans because we did this drastic change. And if we did, it only made our core fan base tighter. So yeah, like, you know, not to ramble on about it, but we're just, that's the only reason we're here, is because our fans are loyal and they've kept us afloat. So, you know, that's why we're down to just like, we literally, this tour is such a kismet thing to be able to come to Australia, because we asked for it and it was presented to us. So it's not like any one thing was sought out. It just, the idea was presented and we said, if we can do it, yeah, we should do it. And so here we come, you know. Leaning into things like that more often is super important. I think as we just become this band that has 7 albums, you know. Yeah. It's yeah, just like I said, like solidifies our place, you know, where we are is it solidifies the fact that our fans give a shit, you know.
I think more than that, absolutely more than that. You mentioned every album is different. You know, you've still got your core sound. There's still those elements of his legend that I think, you know, are the base of everything. But every album, you just constantly reinventing yourselves. And I don't know any other band that can do that and get away with it and still keep that core, because it's very difficult to do. You know, your bands like big bands like Metallica go and make a country album, and then everyone's like, fuck them. But you guys could literally do anything and we'll be along for the ride, because we know what to expect to the unexpected. You know what I mean?
That's a huge compliment. I really appreciate that.
It's like I don't know if it's a catch-22, but it's hard to describe. If you are talking to someone about music and you introduce them to this band, it's hard to say exactly like what they're signing up for when they go to listen to it. You pretty much have to lay it down, like listen to these like 6 songs and you'll get what's going on. But it's not like, oh, they're a metal band, oh, they're this, like it's a pretty broad palette of stuff. But so that makes it hard for us sometimes of like, where do we necessarily fit in? But it makes it like, probably someone like you is, you've heard us go all sorts of different ways. So, you know, on album number 8, we'll throw you a curveball and it'll be like, it's not jarring you, like, you know, that it's going to be, we've got a lot of things we can work with. Like there's so many on every album. There's it's not every band can do like have this kind of song and this kind of song on the same album and make it make sense. That's really hard to accomplish, but having 7 records of doing that a lot,
always having
so it makes it easy if we are like, let's go this direction, we can do that. We've done it a bunch of times before, so it's not like Metallica playing a country song. I love Metallica, but it's like, it would be very jarring if they did anything that wasn't straight up Metallica. But He Is Legend, we've done so many different things. We've given ourselves like the leash to do that. So that's some of the positive aspect of not being able to like classify the band as just like this thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's like also where we're from and like what, our backgrounds of being like young musicians that were raised kind of by musicians in a way, and like growing up on the same things, like, I mean, even though Jesse's 10 years younger than us, like he's played for about longer than us, most of us. And he's a seasoned touring artist. So he fell right in with how we kind of were as people, just like kind of jaded by the music scene, kind of over certain aspects of touring, and like, so we're all just kind of hopped in the van and kept on going, and
we're all big fans of music and art, not just like like I look at what I'm looking at behind you. You've got all these posters. You're a fan of music. That's why you like this band. Like there's people who, I won't say, it's no diss on anybody, but like there's much bigger heavy metal bands than us that have so many more fans. But a lot of those people, they're not really particularly music fans. They're fans of the band. I mean, I'm not knocking them, saying they don't love their stuff, but they're not into, all the aspect that is the fun of music and art. And we're all like that. So we resonate with people who are diehard music fans that welcome all sorts of, sights and sounds. So it's like, I don't know, where it's a different animal than dealing with like, something that's just really, in one lane, easy to digest for someone who's not really a fan of music to go, oh yeah, I like Metallica. It's like, it's not really the same thing. Like our core fan base loves music and, respects all the aspects of the art.
I think we're like grandfathered into like the last artist to make like front to back albums that are like cohesive, meant to be listened to front to back. I don't know that tons of artists are really writing for that. I mean, I know for certain that streaming platforms have made that dwindle. But I kind of think that our fans have always known that like when you get our album, I mean, I saw it on Reddit when Endless Hallway came out. I saw a fan mentioned that he was waiting to listen to it all at once. So he didn't want to listen to the singles and he wanted to hear it front to back when it all came out. And I was like, I respect that, because I feel that way a lot of times about music, that like I love to take an album and listen to it start to finish and hear how the band wanted it to flow, what it wanted it to flow into. And I think that's kind of known about us, that our albums go in that way, and that there is this umbrella kind of universe that the imagery lies in, that I will write about vocally. And so I think that those little things also kind of help that our fans are in on the jokes. They get what you're, they know the rules of being in the cult, like they follow along and have been following along the whole time. So that's fun for me.
And well, I mean, evident of that is the vinyl reissues you're currently doing. Like, man, like I go, okay, I'm gonna hit that button and it's gone. You go, okay, and gone. That's
actually a fortunate accident, because we just were able to purchase those records we weren't even really aware about that happening. We just had an inside man, and somebody told us that it was being pressed, and we were like, okay, can we get in on that? And like, so we had to buy them at cost pretty much. from and work around it that way. All these things happen. I'm sure it happens to every band, and it's just a matter of like miscommunication or poor communication, no communication. But yeah, it's none of these things have been on us going like, we should reissue this record, because if it was up to us, you could buy the damn record all the time.
Yeah. These kinds of things happen with or without our consent.
Yeah, so
people don't really understand, like, we don't own our songs.
Yeah.
The certain, those masters, those recordings are not, we don't, some fella who sold some contract to some other fella, he can do whatever he wants with it. He doesn't have to ask me if it's okay. He owns it. I don't know. There's a lot of people don't understand that when someone drops like, oh, here's a reissued vinyl thing, it's like, I have absolutely no say about that, and nobody talked to me about it at all. Here it comes. So, the only time we ever got involved with it, we bought them just like you would, and it's just like we got to buy 100 of them when it wasn't for sale yet.
When the button wasn't live.
Yeah, so that is a whole thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've been trying to figure out when those things happen, and also
fans come up to me at a show and say, "Hey, this is happening." I'm like, "No, it's not. I haven't heard anything about that." They were right. Somehow they knew, and I didn't know.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's the way she.
I guarantee you know something about this band that I don't know. I promise.
Well, I probably
we'll quiz you on it.
I probably do, but I know I've run out of time. I just got a message.
Okay.
I know you guys got to have a lot on the way, but
it's all good.
Yeah,
but I'll think of something for when you're down here on the Gold Coast. I'll come up and be like,
yeah, we'll do it again.
Is Gold Coast the first show? All right.
Hell yeah.
Down. This is where I'm at.
All right,
we'll see you there.
Yeah. Well, thanks, dudes, and we'll have all the links down here for your tour with Hammers, boys. Until then, take care, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, we'll chat soon, bud.
Thank you, boys.